Public Schools is Wednesday, February 19th, 2025 at 3:30 p.m. Standard Daylight Time, Central Daylight Time, and it's 3:33. I'd like to welcome everybody here. With that, we'll go to item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you wish. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move to item 3, public comment.
And we have none, Mr. Chair. No comment today.
With that, we'll move to item 4. It's the step 3 grievance meeting pursuant to the AFSCME 65 local union number 480 unit collective bargaining agreement. Would you like to?
Yes, sir.
Open the comment? Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. So we have Miss Alexandra Rosa that's
Yes.
here from AFSCME 65, Local 65. She's going to be presenting AFSCME's position on the grievance that we're working on together. So
All right.
you have the floor, Miss.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name's Alex. I'm the labor representative here for the AFSCME members. I have the honor of representing them. I've developed a position paper just to kind of detail the level 3 grievance that we're at. I would like to pass these out to everyone. So if you will grab one and pass one down for me.
Staff together.
All right, thank you. So I'm just going to read from the letter. So the union brings forth this level 3 grievance to the school board for its consideration. The basis of this grievance rests upon the contractual violations of Article 2 and Article 3 of the collective bargaining agreement. The above listed articles clearly define and reference the Public Employment Labor Relations Act, or PELRA. Under State Statute 179A.03, a public employee is defined as someone working more than 67 shifts in a calendar year. The district, however, has worked the grievant in excess of those 67 shifts, and thus far has refused to acknowledge the employee as part of the bargaining unit. In fact, this employee has worked well over 100 shifts in the 2024 calendar year. Again, a clear and definable violation of state statute and an erosion of our bargaining unit work. The union is seeking relief through the immediate recognition of this employee in the position as a bargaining unit eligible. The union is also seeking any back pay of lost wages and benefits and the establishment of a seniority date from the first date worked after the 67 shifts were breached. The union's position is that this should be a district-wide posted position that is meant to provide a community member and family a sustaining employment opportunity that affords them vacation, pension contributions, a livable wage, and a secure work schedule. We look forward to your response. Essentially, this is just, the union's position that this is a very clear violation of PELRA. We're prepared to move forward in the grievance procedure on that basis, and we look forward to your response. Any questions or concerns? No?
Want to make a motion?
Oh, I need to give a district response.
Oh,
also.
sorry.
You're fine, thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
Yes. So like Ms. Rosa had said, we do have an employee that is we do have, I'm going to start again, excuse me. Jeff, Mr. Polchi threw me just a little bit
I'm sorry.
off.
My apologies.
I apologize.
Rick will explain from this side, and then we'll, after that, we'll take it to the next step then.
Yes. So Ashby has brought a grievance forward on 67 shifts. It's related to our casual employees or our part-time fill-in employees, like vacation folks, people that work shifts for us that are not bargaining union employees. They're just simply casual employees. That employee has worked more than 67 shifts in the district in a year. The district's position is that it's 67 shifts in a job class. So for instance, if somebody worked at the high school afternoon position for 10 shifts and then worked in the Greenhaven day shift position for 10 shifts, those, in our view, would not be cumulative as 20 shifts, that they're two different job classifications, and thus it's two different counts for the 67 shifts. And that's why we have bargaining agreements, and that's why we have a grievance process, because if we disagree, this is a process to remedy it. So again, and as AFSCME has said, the district does not feel that we violated the contract. And also it's a managerial right to hire or to increase the positions in the district. It's not something that a union can call for. So again, this would be a district managerial right that I think is also important just to bring to your attention. Yes?
Can you repeat what you said about the shifts in the different buildings?
So AFSCME's, the way AFSCME views this is I sign up to be a part-time custodian in the district. I work, doesn't matter where I work, if I worked in the grounds crew or worked in a custodial position, doesn't matter if I was in this building or if I was in the Early Learning Center or if I was at the at the Lincoln, or any of our positions within the district. For them, all those shifts are cumulative. You work one, you just start counting, a clock starts counting for 67 shifts.
Okay.
And AFSCME actually, monthly, I believe, is it monthly? Carrie, you get a list from us and they'll check, they'll watch and just make sure, they kind of count to see where we're at with shifts and where people are at to make sure that we're following the contract. So this particular employee has worked more than 67 shifts, but it's not been in one job class or one site. It's been throughout the district. The person might come work 2 nights at the high school and then might work a couple of days at Washington, and could be in multiple locations and multiple job classes. So that's kind of the basis of our argument, is that no, it hasn't reached that threshold because it's in multiple job classifications. Where in their view, it doesn't matter. It's just you work 67 shifts, doesn't matter where you're at. Once you hit that number, you should have some rights. Yes?
So is it pretty normal for staff to move buildings? I mean, is that a routine thing, so that's pretty common?
Yeah, so like, we'll have, so this particular employee fills a lot of vacation spots for us. We'll have a custodian, afternoon custodian at Washington put in for vacation. We might try to fill that or backfill that through some overtime through another employee, but if you can't, that doesn't work, you need to fill that spot. There's just a pool that we have.
So they're
Probably has 6 or 7 different custodians that just pick up jobs and.
So they're really helping us in that
Oh,
situation?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes.
Because right now, we don't have any positions that are part of the bargaining agreement that would be like a float from school to school.
No. And that's one of the things that AFSCME suggested as a remedy, is to create a floating position.
But we don't have that right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. You go ahead.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
want to join
yeah.
the conversation a little bit. We're
Yeah,
talking about
absolutely.
AFSCME's position.
No, yeah.
My understanding is that we do have district-wide positions. Carrie, do you know the specific position? Or we have district, the ELC, so we do have district-wide custodians. Our position, you had kind of elaborated a bit. I know the district's position is that, if there's a sub in an afternoon shift or a sub in a day shift, that those shouldn't count collectively. But the employers, our understanding of PELRA is that it's based on the employer. For example, if you worked at any other place and you were to switch to afternoon shifts for a week, well, those shifts don't suddenly just not count because you were on a different shift. You still work for the employer, you're still getting a check cut from the employer. So we view those as cumulative, but I do believe that there is district-wide positions that are available or that exist, and so we're asking that there be a float position. And Superintendent, you brought up that there's we use this sub to help fill for vacation periods. The amount of vacation periods that have to be covered amongst the custodians alone would create, the leave that they're required to take would create enough of a gap to actually have a position that would be dedicated to filling those leaves. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I have one for you. Is
Yeah.
there a reason why it isn't? I guess I'm surprised that it wouldn't be considered just district-wide, and it is building to building. Why don't we do it that way? What's the reasoning behind it for what you're saying is if you work at the Washington, but then you fill in at the Lincoln, that it doesn't count towards that shift? Why isn't it as just a whole, a district rather than building to building?
All of our positions, like all of our custodial positions have different duties, different timeframes, different responsibilities. Some could require additional licensure depending on the building or what boilers that might be in the building. So they're not just generic postings that, right? I mean, they're specific to buildings, specific to the shift, specific to the contract, how the contract's worded for each of those job classes and positions. But yes, we do have some district-wide positions that we've created in the last couple of years, yes.
We just haven't created a district-wide float position.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yep, yep. So, do you have anything else, Alexandra, or anything that you'd like to add, or?
No, I think, essentially, we feel very firm in our position that we believe that Pellra clearly defines what a public employee is. We feel that we'll prevail at any arbitration hearing on that basis. It again is just very, very clearly defined in Pellra. And so no additional quirks for me over here, but any questions though, I will gladly answer.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
very
I
much
appreciate your
Thank you.
time.
For the comments. Hearing all that, is there a motion to,
I'd like to make a motion to deny slip 3 grievance and authorize the board chair to work with legal counsel to provide a written decision by ASCII's representatives within the timeline set forth in the collective bargaining agreement.
is there a second?
I'll support that.
Motion made by Director Folger, supported by Director McLaughlin. Is there any further discussion? To reiterate what he said, if it goes to denial, you can still pursue another step or forth. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously to deny it. Good luck to both sides.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get it worked out. Okay, with that, we'll move to administrative reports. Hey, student director,
No student directors today, Mr. Chair.
or directors.
Chair, I just want to congratulate Hibbing's one-act play. That was amazing, amazing production, and for us to get the rating that we did, the star ranked rating, that was awesome. So kudos to them, and wishing the boys hockey team the best of luck Saturday. And it was a fun basketball game last night.
I have a couple things. I wasn't sure if Mr. Gabarty or Mrs. Tui was going to be here today, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of our staff that had come and worked together last week with what had occurred in our community, and that really hit home for our students and our staff at the Lincoln. So I heard really great things of businesses, of churches, of North Homes, of just really all our staff and the families, all the great things that they did to help get through a difficult time. So I do want to say thank you to everybody for that. And then I wanted to share too that I got to spend all day yesterday at our Washington Elementary School, and this was a first for me. But it was such a great experience. We had a few of us board members had attended a meeting recently last week at the Washington with some staff, and I was asked if I could come there and just really get a little bit of a snapshot of what it's like in a day of an elementary teacher. And so, like I mentioned, I got to spend all day there, and just not there to observe our staff, because I mean they're professionals, they're wonderful, they know, but really to kind of see what students' behaviors are like, and how they cope, and how our staff copes in situations and deals in those situations. And it was very eye-opening, and I guess, you know, for me it was nice to have staff, number one, welcome me into their classrooms, and the kids, they're so great. Anytime they see somebody new, you know, they get excited. But for them to, you know, feel comfortable enough to share, you know, what it is that they're experiencing, and in that time, you know, at that time, kind of walk me through and explain, because this was all new to me. My background is not education, so to be able to see that and witness that and talk through it and ask questions and you know, brainstorm with that staff member or the teachers was just really beneficial to me as a board member. But I also just want to, you know, reiterate that, you know, we do care, we do hear what our staff is saying, and you know, we do understand that they are reaching out to us for help as a district. And I think the hardest part for me was, you know, me being one person, you know, I don't have all the answers. You know, I may have been there that for one day, but that doesn't give me, you know, all the answers to fix everything that they are asking for help with. But I did hear the concern, the questions, the need for change and the need for resources and help. And so I hope, you know, that we continue to work as a district and as a board to look for resources, look for things that can alleviate some of that stress, and give those teachers back that time to teach and get those kids the learning lessons that they also deserve. But again, thank you to all of the staff there. It was good for me, and I hope it was good for you. But again, thank you for what you do, because without them, you know, going on to that next level, next grade, doesn't happen. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Very important, thank you. Okay, anything else from the directors? Hearing none, we'll move to item B, administrators and staff. Rick?
We have Mr. Snyder here tonight, assistant at the high school.
Yeah, you stole, Director, you stole a lot of my thunder there, so I'll just reiterate what Director McLaughlin said. Big congratulations to the hockey team, our basketball team, One Act. They made the state tournament for the first time in, we believe, 23 years, and they got that Star Award, which is the highest honors you can get. So a lot of success all the way around. Our swimmers got second last night as well, or 2 nights ago, and had a lot of personal bests by a lot of our individual athletes. And our choir trip is traveling down to the cities to go to the Chan Hansen Theater to go watch some musical performances down there. So there's a lot of great things, both athletics and activities, happening here at Hibbing High School. And I'll reiterate as well what Director Gabarty said. Renee and I both want to give a heartfelt thank you to our student support staff here at the high school. When Mr. Aldrich came to us in the morning and told us of the tragic news, our team here at the high school just rallied together, and before I could even walk from door 12 back to my office, they were already down at the Lincoln. So our counselors, our social workers, our mental health practitioners with North Homes, everybody kind of rallied and met the moment there. And it's huge that we can support each other here in the district. And even from our neighbors, we got a bouquet of flowers and a card from Mesabi East High School. Because the range, it's a small community here. Everybody gets affected by these tragedies. So we've had an outpouring from the community. And even today we were passing around cards and to hand out to the families and to, we have a high school student who was affected. It was a relative of his. So, you know, we're still behind the scenes. We're still working to support these students and the community members. So I'm grateful that we have the staff here. I'm ungrateful for the circumstances, but it really showed how amazing our staff is here in Hibbing High School.
Can I just add to that, Mr. Snyder? If I
Yeah.
could? You know, the other thing that I really noticed when, and I reiterate everything that Mr. Snyder said, I heard that we needed to help the Lincoln out in the morning. I walked down and spoke to the high school counselors, and they just jumped into action, pulled their crisis team together, and it says a lot about our building that we have a crisis team that's so knowledgeable and works so well, but it also shows that we have a lot of crises that happen. It might not be a death, it could be something smaller, but our crisis team's very active, and it's also just well-oiled, I guess would be the, because we have to use it a lot. And you think about that, I thought about that afterwards, even when I walked down and talked to the counselors, just the burden that may have put on them. And I just expect, you know, walking in, you just think they're professionals, they're counselors, just be matter of fact, tell them what happened, right? And when I went home that night, I thought, boy, I wonder how that was received, right? Because they're people too, and they have, and a lot of them knew this student, and that makes it so much more difficult. But I'm really proud of our staff. Again, terrible situation, we feel for the family and everybody involved, but I think our staff here really rallied and did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm proud of them.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but the very next morning, Renee told me, she says, I'm going to check on every staff member today. So she made it her mission to go independently meet with every teacher and support staff in the building to see how they were doing, if there's anything that they needed as well. Because like you had said, sometimes, you know, we're entrusted with supporting the students, but also, you know, the staff gets affected by these things as well.
You know, and can I just add, it just, I mean, to me, it just resonates, it demonstrates. I had a couple people reach out over the weekend and just trying to share with our community everything that was put together in this district and all the positive things that we've been going on. So Sarah, like taking the day and going down, that's wonderful. And I just want people to know, as a school board member, I feel as though we are all on the same team, on the same side, and we're walking together with you. And I hope that we can continue to keep as many of these supports in place. And I think we really have to continue to advocate at higher levels for us, for ourselves. I just don't know what else to do, to say, but it's pretty amazing what's been put together in this district.
And then the last thing I'll have is just a big thank you to all of our school bus drivers. So today is Bus Driver Appreciation Day in Minnesota, and they are the bloodline of this district. They're the first ones that see the kids in the morning, and they're the last ones to see them at the end of the day. And whenever a kid gets sent to my office for a bus conduct report or for misbehaving for a substitute teacher, I tell them the two most stressful jobs in a school are bus driver and substitute teacher. So those are the people you have to respect the most. Because I've driven a district suburban with some students with some wrestlers in it, with just 5 or 6 of them, super stressed the entire time. I couldn't imagine a 100-foot long yellow bus with 80, 90 kids in there bouncing off the walls. But thank you to all of them, and we appreciate the work that they do for our district. And Dustin with Shubat, they've been great this year. Communication's been excellent. It's a pleasure working with a local company like Shubat. So that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
That's it, Mr. Chair.
Any committee reports? Hearing none, we'll move to item 6, motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director Duarte. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 7, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Moved by Director Polter, supported by Director McLaughlin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 8, administrative business. Turn it over to Sir Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
Item A is a motion to approve the resolution to accept donations, and they are consisting of $3,000 from Diane Doherty in memory of Michael Marinucci to support the Drama Club, $2,500 from Detroit Diesel to support the Career Academy, $946 from Splash Express to support the athletic department, and $20 from Mighty Cause Charitable Foundation to support the high school.
Make motion. Support.
Motion by Director Gilat, support by Director McLaughlin, excuse me. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now this is going to be a little different here, but go ahead.
Item B is a motion to approve the American Indian Education AIPAC and district compliance documentation and resolution of concurrence as presented.
This one goes up every year, we bring it up.
So moved.
Moved by Director McLaughlin,
Support.
supported by Director Gilat. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. With that, item 9, any discussion items?
Maybe just one, if I could add, Mr. Chair, just because I think he's going to go home upset if we don't say something.
I was
But
just thinking that.
we just accepted the retirement of Jason Claudio in the consent agenda, which doesn't get, full motion, and but we just want to thank you, Mr. Claudio. And you're leaving too young. We wish you weren't going yet. You got a lot of good years left to sub anyway, I would think, so.
Absolutely, 100%. Bittersweet, that's for sure. Bittersweet.
But thank you for your service.
Thank you all for everything you've done
Best
for
of
the past
luck.
30 years in my career.
And good health.
It was a great day when I got here, but like I said, it's a bittersweet day that I'm leaving. And I'll tell you what, this is some of the greatest times of my life in the last 30 years. But that being said, it's only because of great coworkers, incredible kids, and solid, strong administrators that I've had over these years. And it's a good feeling to leave on a high note. It really is. And that was my goal when I started. I want to make sure I leave smiling how I came in smiling. And that's how I'm feeling today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of the board, congratulations and good health.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself. Director Martin.
Yeah, one of the things that I forgot to mention when I was talking about my visit to the Washington is that I got to see some of our high school students at the Washington, and I knew some of them, so I said, oh, what are you doing here? And there's a peer mentoring.
Career Academy.
Okay, that's through. So,
Yep.
and just so they kind of told me what they do, and I just thought, what a win-win for both the high school student, the elementary teacher, and those kids, because those little kids, I could tell, just loved those high school kids coming in. But what a great opportunity that we provide, and it sounds, like I said, just a win-win all around there.
So we've typically have about 30 kids a semester that are in that class with Mrs. Tremberth, and it's an education exposure class. If you're interested in teaching, interested in the field, get some experience working with kids, different levels, it's really been a win-win for us, and win-win for the teaching profession to get some more people interested in teaching. So, yeah, thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, Director Polter.
Motion to adjourn.
Without any objection, meeting's adjourned. I want to thank everyone for showing up, and it's 4:02. And stay warm.
Thank you.
Hibbing Public Access TV may be viewed on these platforms: hpat.org with video on demand, Mediacom Hibbing 802, 805, and 807. On Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Download the Hibbing Public Access TV app for your iPhone and Android devices. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. For more information, scan the QR code and go to hpat.org.